Hey YouTube, Jim Flies 2 here, and just got this used Catalina Club Gretsch drum kit, which I really like. They're mahogany shell, but the first thing I noticed is that the snare side, the head was so bagged out and so worn out that it needed to be replaced because it was exposing the bearing edge, and I thought very dangerous. Here you can see that head. So I went around looking on the internet, which is obviously the place where everything is true, and I discovered people were saying that, well, Remo heads, the ones that are made in Asia, aren't as thick as the American versions, and they're garbage and they're junk and everything. So I thought I'd bring them into work and I'd measure them with my micrometer and find out how many mils they are. Just to be sure, mils are thousandths. Okay, same thing. So 1 mil is 1,000th of an inch. Now this one measures out to between 2 and 3 thousandths thick. So it could be more along the lines of a diplomat snare side weight rather than an ambassador snare side. The UT head by Remo, made in Taiwan, same thing. I already checked these, just so you know. I already checked them. Same deal. Yeah, this one is, yeah, it's about 2 to 3 thousandths. So, is it an ambassador weight? Is it diplomat weight? I don't know. To be honest with you, I've used those both on my snare drums, and I can't tell the difference. I really can't. The other thing is these heads, that's got a steel flesh hoop, and the heads are crimped in place like Ludwig heads used to do. Whereas opposes the U.S. made Remo, they're aluminum flesh hoop and they're epoxied in. I tend to think that the epoxy makes the head a little bit more mellow and roundy sound, but I don't know if that's completely true. I've never really had an issue with them pulling out. I've seen them that have pulled out, but I've never had a problem with it. Here's take a clear ambassador weight, and we're going to find out that this is exactly what they say they are, 10 mil. And here we go with the micrometer, dialing up, zeroing. All right, we got 10 mil. All right, so that's standard. When you put a coating on a drum head, you're going to add a little bit of thickness. We're going to add about 1 or 2 thousandths of an inch. So this one measures out at 12. This is a coated controlled sound. So everybody knows that a control sound head, CS black dot, is an ambassador weight head with a black dot in the center, which I think is 3 mil thick. Anyway, just to give you an idea, a piece of post-it note, that's 3 mil. That's 3 thousandths thick. A piece of printing paper, same thing. So if you've got a really thin, super thin head, like, well, just to give you an idea what, yeah, that's just an idea of what a standard mil weight is, or thousandths. Now this Gretsch head, now this is the Gretsch made in Taiwan for Remo to their specs. Again, metal or steel counter hoop that measures out at 11 thousandths. So it's a 10 mil head with a coating, and you can see that this coating is a little bit Evansy. Uh-oh, sorry Evans, but I don't find your coatings are as good as the Remo coatings. So anyway, are the UT heads bad? I don't think they're bad, but I did notice that this snare side head, you can see that it was pulling out of the channel. So I think the issue there is that it's just pulling out. As far as the tone, man, those toms sound fantastic. The snare drum even sounded good when I played on it, but I'm like, I got to get those heads off. And what did I have at home? I had a brand new snare side head, so I put that on, and then I put on a used batter, and I think it sounds fantastic. That batter didn't have much it wasn't very used up. I do a lot of brush work, so it had brush marks, but it was not bagged out in any way, and you can see that the original is pretty bagged out. Maybe. Anyway, that needed to go. So it tuned up great. I'm not a huge fan of Gretsch snare drums historically, but I really like the sound of this drum and the toms and the bass drum. Fantastic. Anyway, that's the story on the Remo UT heads and American heads. About the same thickness. You know, maybe the snare size a little thinner, but I don't think that's any great shakes. Enjoy your week.